So welcome everybody. We are thrilled that you are here. My name is Rachel Justice, and along with Jillian Levinson, I co-lead the Woman to Woman program. And you are in for a very special experience today and over the next few weeks. So this is part of our ongoing COVID and cancer series. And as you might be aware, we've been doing some multi-session topics so that we can do a deeper dive into topics that are of interest to our population. And the next 3 sessions it's actually 2 consecutive weeks, then we skip a week, and then the following week are going to be about energy healing and different types of energy healing modalities. And they're going to be a combination of educational and experiential. And we are really lucky that we have Emma Ehrenzeller, who is back with us. She did a very, very popular hypnosis multi-session series last year, and it was wonderful for those of you who attended. And Emma is working really, really hard, and she is going to be leading us, teaching us, guiding us over the next few weeks, and it is an honor to have you here, Emma. So I will turn the virtual mic over to you. I'll let you introduce yourself. So for those who are new, they know why we are in such expert hands, but I think you will soon see for yourself that you are in, like I said, for a really special and wonderful experience. So thanks, everyone.
Well, thank you, Rachel, for such a kind introduction. I absolutely love working with the Woman to Woman program. When we did the series last year, it just was so fun and so fabulous. So I'm really excited to be here for the next few weeks, talking with you guys about different energy healing modalities and really just tools you can add to your toolbox to create more emotional wellness, decrease stress, connect more into your own self, personality, soul, whatever it may be for you. We're going to be talking all about it today and throughout March. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. I have a lovely little presentation for y'all, and we'll get started. So like Rachel was saying, this is going to be a 3-session series, and this is our first session. We are focused on chakras and how you can kind of tap into your own energy and balance your energy through chakra alignment. And I'll go into a little bit deeper of an introduction in just a moment, but if you don't know me, hello, my name is Emma Ehrenzeller. I'm a certified life coach and hypnotist, and be hanging out with you guys these next few weeks. So today we're going to take about an hour. We'll end at 1 to cover a few different things. We're going to dive into a brief, somewhat complex history of the chakras because they are rooted back in ancient traditions, but have a very different modern take. We're going to go through chakras 1 through 7 and cover the 7 chakra system, what each of them kind of represents, where they are in the body, how you can connect into them. And then we're going to conclude our session with a chakra focusing hypnotic meditation so that you can really start to play with some of the tools that I'll talk about and teach you in this session and really see what resonates with you and what feels good for you that you want to take away from today. So a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm a certified life coach and hypnotist. I've been doing this work for quite a few years now. It's a lot of fun. But from another angle, I'm just really obsessed with the mind-body connection. I love, love, love when classical STEM kind of sciences like neuroscience, even psychology, can overlap with different parts of spirituality, self-help, even ancient religious traditions like we're going to be talking about today. I think that there's just a lot of fun and a lot of magic there. It's just so interesting to me. And so I love coming and doing sessions like this to talk to you guys about it. In my academic background, I've always been a bit of a science nerd. I did a Bachelor of Science in Public Health and getting my master's in neuroscience in Columbia now. So I'm obsessed with it, love talking about it, and that's why I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I know a lot of you guys aren't on video. That's totally okay. But I would love, just by a show of hands, maybe you can drop a little comment in the chat. Who here has heard of chakras before? All right, we got some hands up. Yeah, most of you guys. I figured. I'm also curious to know who has done any kind of spiritual self-help kind of work with chakras before, whether it was like a Reiki session, you know, a meditation, anything like that? We got a few hands up, a little this, a little that. Awesome. Well, fantastic. I feel like chakras are a pretty big buzzword, you know, when you're in the personal development, self-help, spirituality space. And I am curious, and in the chat, they're also saying as well, wonderful. I am curious if anyone's feeling a little bold. Does anyone want to share what they think of as the definition of a chakra or what they've heard before? No, that's okay. That's okay. They're complex, they're confusing, but I thought I'd throw it out there. So it gets to be pretty simple for the definition itself. Chakras are essentially thought of as an energy center in the body, considered to have spiritual connections. Now, underlying a lot of chakra belief systems is essentially that we have a physical body, you know, here, your body here. And you also have what's called a subtle body, which is essentially your energetic body. And chakras are connection points kind of between the two, connections into your subtle body or your energetic body that you can focus on. So as you can see in this photo here, chakras have a few different things connected to them. Each chakra has its own color. Chakra itself means wheel, and they're each represented by essentially like this wheel, often called a mandala, which has a different number of petals on each one. So you see, if you can kind of like look close, this one has 4, the second one has 6, and it ascends a number as you go up. They originated in Hindu traditions. So back in India, many, many centuries ago. And each of these, you know, little petals here, those are called petals off of each chakra, and those are those unique numbers as you go up. So let's talk a little bit about the history of chakras and where they really come from, because it's really fascinating when you start to dive into it. So chakras, the precursors for chakras, first were seen in the Vedas, which are the Hindu sacred texts. These were written and brought about around 1200 BCE to 700 CE. So it started in India, and these precursors to chakras were called things like knots or sites or vital points in the body, right? And they started in India. They also spread into some other religious traditions like Buddhism. You also saw some writings in China as well about these kind of energy points throughout the body. But it's not really until 800 to 900 CE that we actually see the first recorded use of the word chakra, which means wheel, essentially the Sanskrit version of the word chakra, right? And this was in reference to a system of 6 energy centers throughout the body. Now, as you might imagine, with a lot of religious traditions, there might be a central theme or belief, but a lot of different types of practices that come off of that. So there were a lot of different chakra systems. Some only thought that there were 4 chakras. Some practice connecting to more than 10 chakras. It really just varied on that specific sect of Hinduism, potentially Buddhism, the location, right? So it was a very diverse piece and practice within these spiritual traditions. But if we flash forward about, 1,000 years, that's when we actually get the first recorded writings about chakras for a Western audience. So it's kind of interesting historically here. It was actually an Indian scholar who was writing actually a critical piece on the chakras about how there are so many different systems, and he saw that as a way to invalidate them and their legitimacy. But, when you look at most religious traditions, there's a lot of variety in how people practice, what they believe, even within, one overarching umbrella. So I just find it ironic that, this first appearance of chakras in Western spiritual consciousness is more dismissive or satirical. And today, chakras are actually incredibly popular. And, when you go to a yoga studio, or maybe if you've ever seen someone for a Reiki, they often have like a little banner that has all the different chakras. Like you see them around a lot more. And that was really the start into what we see today as the modern use of chakras. This got really, really popularized in the 1980s and has really just grown and bloomed since then. So I know you probably weren't expecting a history lesson today, but there are two big themes that I do want you to take away from our little trip down memory lane. It's the difference between how chakras were used historically versus how they're used in the modern sense. So historically, chakras were more about experiencing different states of consciousness. They were really more of a part of a religious, spiritual practice to help a person get to a state of transcendence, of nirvana, to that really deep spiritual connection. And each chakra was essentially like another level in that path. In the modern day, you see a lot of different language. You see language like you have to unblock your chakras. You need to align your chakras. Your chakras are unbalanced. We use that language in the title of this session today, right? Modern day, it's a lot more about fixing, right? Identifying a problem and fixing it, right? Your throat chakra is off balance. You need to be able to communicate. And I like to share this just to say there's not necessarily one that's right or wrong, right? I really deeply believe with any kind of spiritual, self-healing, self-help practice, it's all about what resonates with you, right? So if this idea of just kind of experiencing new forms of consciousness, connecting with yourself more deeply in meditation, if that's more of your cup of tea, then that can be your focus and your intention. But if this more almost like methodical way of viewing chakras is like, where do I feel unbalanced? What do I need to kind of realign within myself? If that resonates more with you, then you can take this more modern approach and idea about what the chakras are and what they're for, or you can do a mix of them. But I do think it's important to understand kind of that historical, modern, somewhat East and West difference in how we think about chakras so that you can be best prepared to decide what you want to make of your own practice. So to sum up, chakras, you don't have to think of them as misaligned and in need of unblocking, unbalancing, etc. That's what a lot of the books, marketing, if you will, around chakras today say. You can also just think of them as energetic, physical points in your body to focus on in meditation and reach new levels of your own consciousness and inner peace. So today, we are going to be talking about the 7-chakra system. So like I mentioned, there are still a variety of different chakra systems, but the 7-chakra system is what I would say probably 90% of people are going to be using, talking about, etc. So there's 7 chakras throughout the subtle body. These start at your tailbone, they go up through the crown of your head. And like I was mentioning earlier, they each have their own characteristics associated. So they have the mandala, that circle, the wheel with a specific number of petals. They have an element, a color, a mantra. And in the more modern adaptations of chakras, we also see a sort of healing theme, something thematically connected to that chakra, and an endocrine gland connected to that area of the body, right? So these, again, are things that only really started to appear really more so in the 1980s. But again, it really gets to be what you want to make of this practice and how you kind of want to center your energy and think about these. So we'll go now through the basics of each chakra, but I do want to pause for a moment. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. And if you have any questions as we go along, also please feel free to drop them in the chat. We can chit chat as we go along. All righty. So the first chakra is the root chakra. This placement is at the base of the spine. The color is red. And I really like to kind of think of this as almost like a glowing fire right at the base of the spine, like a few inches below the tailbone. I once was at a sort of like sound healing yoga chakra meditation. I don't even know what they called it. It was a very interesting event, but there was essentially a musician who would use these different sounds, connect them into the chakras, and lead us through a meditation. And for the root chakra, he compared it to kind of like that when you look into, let's say, a little bonfire, a campfire, there are those glowing embers right in the center of the fire, the log, the coal, whatever was used, how that red really just like glows so bright. That's what he connected into this space. You have that fire, that safety, that warmth. And I really like to think about that with the root chakra, especially because the themes here are survival and safety, right? So things that make you feel safe, that make you feel rooted and grounded into who you are and to where you are. The glands connected here are the reproductive glands, which makes sense when we think about the theme of survival and safety, right? That's reproduction. It's how we survive as humans on the micro and the macro level. And when we're thinking about affirmations here, mantras, it's a lot about I am safe, I am secure, I'm safe in my body. So that is the first one, the root chakra. So if we move up slightly, we then go to the sacral chakra. This chakra is represented by orange, and its placement is right in the lower belly, the lower abdomen. The themes connected here, if you think about this space in your body, it's kind of that, for some people, like that womb area. So with this, we feel creation, we feel emotion, sensuality, all of these kind of, themes you might express with this area are felt here. So the glands associated are the adrenal glands. So these are important for the immune system, caring for your body, metabolism, and the stress response. And if you remember our nervous system series, if you were there for that last year, we talked a lot about the stress response. And in part, this is the emotions that arise in the face of a stressful situation, right? And so we see that thematic connection between emotions, stress, and then how the adrenal glands kind of manage that relationship. And as we go through, I also just encourage you to be thinking about what kind of symbolism, what kind of imagery for you would connect into these chakras. For the root, I shared the example of like those glowing red embers. For you with the yellow or with the orange here, what could that be? I once went to a different meditation where they compared this one to a pumpkin for some reason. But the visualization can be a very powerful tool. And I just encourage you to be thinking of that in the back of your mind. So if we go next, we have the solar plexus chakra. So this is right between the middle of the bottom of your ribs. So the bottom of your rib cage, right in the middle, center of your diaphragm, essentially. And its color is yellow. I like to think of this as like a bright, shining sun that just radiates out into the world around you. You can also think of it as like a big blooming sunflower. And very like metaphorically, the themes here are personality, self-esteem, confidence, energy, right? All of these things that you might associate with a radiant, bright sun, you very much see in this space, which I love. Now, the gland here is the pancreas, and you may be familiar. This is what releases insulin. It's how we manage our energy from sugar in our body, right? And this is this bright, sunny place, right? It's how we kind of our own sense of energy and how we express that. And so a lot of the affirmations here are about, just I am radiant, or even sentences like I can XYZ, what you feel empowered to do because you have this deep-rooted self-esteem and confidence coming out from this space. So this is the solar plexus chakra. All righty. And feel free, again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. But next up, we have the heart chakra. This is going to be right in the center of your chest. Now, surprisingly, even though, Valentine's Day has really branded red and pink as the colors for love, the heart chakra is actually represented by green. And I think that this honestly makes a lot of sense. It reminds me of, nature, Mother Earth, all of these beautiful things of love and how that's represented in our world in a more natural way. But as you might imagine, the themes here are pretty straightforward. It's love, it's self-compassion, it's unity, healing, balance, connection with others, with yourself. The affirmations here are I love, right? I'm grateful for, I feel compassion towards, anything like that you can really play with. And the gland that's connected into this space is the thymus, and that is really important in the immune system. And if we, want to make that thematic connection, it's really like, your immune system is what cares for the rest of your body, right? What shows that love for the rest of you. So that is the heart chakra. All right, another pretty straightforward one is your throat chakra, right? It's going to be right at the center of your neck, center of your throat. The color here is light blue, a nice sky blue. A lot of people actually think of it as kind of like a bright blue butterfly right in the center of your neck. The themes, as you might guess, are communication, self-expression, and with that, there's also a sense of truth, right? How true are you being to yourself and with others? With that, when we think about communication, it's not just communicating with others, telling others your needs, how you feel, etc. It's also communication with yourself, right? How you feel, how honest you are with your own feelings. That's really important too. So, if you ever use the throat chakra as a reflection point, you can always be considering, those different kinds of communication in your life. So the gland here is the thyroid, which also kind of looks like a butterfly loosely. I think that might be where people got that comparison to a butterfly. And the thyroid rules two things predominantly: your body temperature and metabolism. And it's getting and giving cues from different parts of the body to regulate these things, right? So we also see that theme of communication there. And naturally, the affirmations here become I speak, right? I speak my truth, or even like I express myself openly. Those are all things you can play with the throat chakra. All righty. Next up, we have the third eye, which I would assume, even outside of the chakra system, people use the term third eye very commonly. And that's going to be, right in between and slightly above your eyebrows. The color people associate with this is typically a deep purple, an indigo, a deep blue. You'll see it in, a variety of variations. And the themes, as you might guess, are intuition, self-awareness, even like imagination. All of that is here. The affirmations will be things like I see, but also I trust, right? I'm sure we've all had experiences where, you felt your intuition saying to do a certain thing, but also at the same time feeling like, wait, I do not want to do that thing. That sounds scary. That doesn't seem like what everyone else would tell me to do, but I have this intuitive sense like I should. So I think trust is also really important here. The gland associated is the gland that is essentially like right behind this face and more so the center of your brain. And that's your pineal gland. It does a variety of things. It releases different hormones. It helps navigate the sleeping and waking cycles, your circadian rhythms. And with that thematic connection, I find it very interesting that the third eye is connected to the pineal gland because that's what helps, put you to sleep, basically. And a lot of people, intuition is something that they feel in their dreams. So I like that. I like that little thematic connection. All righty, we've made it to the final one, the crown chakra. So as you may imagine, this is placed on the crown of your head, right? The color is violet, but I really like to think of this as almost like an ultraviolet, like neon light purple, if we were to create that color, just extending out from the top of your head and connecting into the universe, into the divine, into whatever that spiritual belief or connection is for you personally. As you might imagine, with that background, the themes are going to be wisdom, connection with the divine, transcendence, a sense of oneness, with the world, with nature, with others, whatever it may be. The gland here is the pituitary gland. And in a lot of ways, this gland is kind of like the master of many of the other glands. So for instance, the release of certain hormones from the pituitary gland controls the release of hormones from the pineal gland, which we just talked about over here. And, it's kind of interesting to think about that thematic connection because, a lot of people believe the more connected you are with the universe, with your own spiritual beliefs, with yourself, whatever that may be, the easier it is for you to follow your intuition. So we do kind of see that top-down connection between the glands and the chakras as well here. Affirmations are going to be all about, a deep sense of knowing, of connection, of oneness. So playing with anything there. Now, I know we just went through a lot of info for all of the different chakras. How are we feeling? Does anyone have questions? Anything I can clarify? Anything at all? Cool. Well, I did want to let you guys know, I will send a link in the chat later, but I did also create a little guide to each of the chakras, what they represent, affirmations you can use with them. I was going through this yesterday and I was like, we gotta give them a resource they can take with this. So I'll send the link to that after this and you'll get a little preview of it later in the slide.
That's great. And I can also, if anyone is interested, and can't pull it from there, you can just text or you can just email the main woman to woman email address and I'll send it to you also.
Perfect. Yeah, I always want this to be as easy for you guys to take home with you as possible. So with that, let's start talking about how you can use your chakras in your own spiritual practice. So I like to think of it as kind of like a 3-step process, starting with asking yourself, really, what have I been struggling with recently, right? Maybe you haven't been feeling like you can really tap into your creativity. Maybe you haven't been the kindest to yourself. You've been more self-critical than self-compassionate. Or maybe if we take an example, you have been struggling to express how you feel to others, right? Pretty common things to feel like, well, I'm really stressed, but I don't want to put this on other people. I don't want to burden them, right? A lot of us feel that way, especially when you're going through really difficult life transitions. So thinking about that theme, that core theme there, it's a lot about self-expression and communication. So what you would then do is identify, which chakra is really connected to self-expression and sharing my thoughts and feelings with others. We go back, we think back, and that would really connect into the throat chakra, right? And so then in a meditative moment, whether for you that's just a few minutes or you have a lengthier meditation practice, you'd focus your attention and awareness on that chakra, right? That could be done in a few ways that we'll go in a little more depth on in just a moment, but repeating affirmations, just sending awareness to that space, holding the intention to build up the bravery or the connection with yourself to communicate how you feel, even when it's scary and vulnerable, right? There's a lot of different ways you can do it, but the overall system I like to share to keep it simple is, what is it that you're struggling with? What is the chakra that relates to that? And then in your meditative or reflective practice, really focusing your energy there into that space. So let's brag a little bit on meditation because I love talking about this stuff. Again, if you're in the nervous system one, you heard this 1,000 times over. But meditative states, if you don't already, have a meditation practice in your life, it can do a lot for you. It's fantastic. It's magical. It's wonderful. But studies have shown a wide variety of benefits, including that meditative states can help increase positive feelings. So happiness, joy, contentment, gratitude. It's easier to have those and hold on to them, right, when they come with meditation. It also reduces the fight or flight activity of the nervous system. So to specify a little more of what that means, when your body, when you come in contact with some kind of stressor, a stressful event, that sends your nervous system into high alert, basically. And meditation essentially helps you go from the high alert phase back into a calm state faster. And that ability to go from stressed out to calm quickly is called vagal tone. The higher your vagal tone, the easier it is for your body to calm down after a stressful event. And vagal tone has also been connected to hypnosis. Hypnosis is very helpful in helping people increase that as well. And finally, meditation is often very good for health too. Decreases inflammation in the body, typically helps with migraines and a wide variety of other symptoms that people often experience. So that's my little brag on meditation, but there's so much more that it does. It's fantastic. And hypnosis also is wonderful. And we'll talk a little more about that in just a moment. And so to dive a little bit deeper on how you can use your chakras, the chakra system in meditation, you can think of a few different things. For one, you can think about visualizing the different energy centers in your body as you breathe. In our third session, we're going to talk about breath work and the power of breath. But I do think, it's always helpful to give people something that they can focus on in a meditation. Because even me, when I try to just focus on my breath, I've been meditating for years, but if I just try to do silence and breathing, my brain goes 1,000 places. I'm like, what is, my dog doing? What do I have to do later today? How's this workshop going to go? I can't wait for it, right? And so having tools that can help center your focus and your attention, like visualization, for instance, can be so, so helpful. So you can visualize the energy centers, you can create those images for yourself, or even use something like a red flower at your root chakra, an orange flower at the sacral, a yellow flower at your solar plexus, right? You get to really get creative with it and find what resonates and feels good for you. Another thing you can always play with is focusing your awareness on the locations of the different chakras. So just as you breathe, imagining yourself breathing in and out of your heart chakra space, for instance. And as you do that, you can just focus on relaxing your body, relaxing any muscles in that area, really just using that as a way to center yourself essentially during like a body scan, right? And then finally, the last one would be saying affirmations as you meditate associated with a different chakra. So if we go back to that example about expressing your emotions, sharing how you feel with others, you could have an affirmation like, it is safe for me to express how I feel. Or something like, my loved ones want to support me in this moment, to really reaffirm to yourself, hey, this might be scary, but this is really what I want to believe. This is what I want to set the intention to follow. And as you do that, you can focus on, the chakra of that space, your throat, for instance. So, like I mentioned, I do have a guide for you guys, because I know this was a lot of info and I want you to be able to, take it home and use it however you see fit. I'm going to go ahead and send this link in the chat. So if you type in that into, excuse me, not what I just sent. I forgot the word chakra. You type this into your web browser, either now or later, that will take you to this page that you see on the right, reviews what we just talked about with the different ways you can use it in meditation, and what each chakra means, some basic affirmations you can use, all of that kind of stuff. So that concludes the education portion of our education and experiential workshop. I do want to pause here for a moment. Does anyone have any questions on anything we covered or how you can use the chakras in your own practice?
So I'm actually wondering, but in terms of the visualization, so like one that resonated with me was the throat one, for example. Mm-hmm. So I know you said that it's more of a modern view that a chakra can be blocked or something like that, but when you're visualizing it, what are you trying to do to it? Are you trying to open it? Are you trying to send energy to it? Like, maybe you'll get into that in the meditation a little bit. But I thought that was interesting that sort of the historic use of the term chakra and what they were believed to help with compared to now has changed, and that, either one is okay. But
right.
So I'm not sure if that's such a clear question, but
yeah, basically like kind of what's the point of visualizing it? Yeah. I like to think of that as almost like visualizing it and focusing on that space. What you're doing is setting an intention to kind of open up that theme in your life, right? If the throat chakra represents the theme of communication, as you take some time in meditation to really focus on that throat chakra space, maybe you visualize the brilliant blue butterfly, right? Whatever it may be for you, you're taking that time to set the intention with yourself of, I want to essentially open up my own communication in my life, right? It's almost kind of like a metaphorical meditation, if that makes sense. And it is more aligned, right, with that modern view of like, okay, this area is blocked in me and I need to send my awareness there. And, you can think of that as truly clearing your energy, right? Sending your intention there does that, sending your awareness there. Or you can also think of it as like, this is me dedicating time to really resolving to be more open with my communication and open up, this space in my life, both in my energetic body, but thematically in how I live my life. Does that make sense? Is that helpful?
It definitely does. And I've also heard of people using things like rocks or stones or crystals to sort of, I guess, supplement the chakra work. Can you just briefly talk about that a little?
Yeah. So that's also definitely one of the more modern derivatives of chakra work. And I think if you ever work with or crystals already, for some people, they can be very grounding. And if you have a meditation practice and you like to lay down, sometimes the feeling of having a stone, a crystal on your heart space, for instance, that like physical interaction can be really helpful for some people to help them focus and really tune into that space. And of course, a lot of people talk about how different crystals have different frequencies or energies associated with them. It's kind of similar to the chakras, where if you want, you can think of it as a metaphor. For instance, I think I have a crystal called like serpentine or something like that. I'm not a crystal expert, but it is. I remember when I was buying it, I got it because it was related to like a sense of calm, of meditation. And in my practice, occasionally I would like to either hold crystals in the palm of my hand, put them on my heart space, and that would just help me tune in to what I was feeling, to, remind myself of whatever intention that I had with that meditation, right? With the serpentine, if it was to let myself get into a deeper state of calm, especially if I had a stressful day. So they definitely can be thematically connected, right? Some crystals are all about safety and security. That's what the root chakra is. And it can find connections like that through all of the chakras. So yeah, that's how they connect as well. Is that helpful? Awesome. Great. Well, any other questions before we get into our meditation portion? Awesome. Cool. Well, in a few moments, we're going to get into it. First, I want to give you a bit of a debrief on what a hypnotic meditation is like for those of you who might not have been with us last year. And even so, it's been a while since last year. It's been a year, in fact. So with a hypnotic meditation, with hypnosis generally, I really like to define hypnosis as a deep guided meditation, right? So it is similar to a meditation. You're just going even deeper into the calm meditative state. So, when I work with my clients, when I worked with you guys last year, a lot of the feedback was, this was like a meditation. I just got so much more relaxed. And that's really what you're going to experience today. So as we go through in this state of relaxation, you might notice a few things. First, you might feel like your body is like getting a bit heavy, almost like you're melting into just a sense of peacefulness and relaxation. It's very lovely. Or you might feel like your body is like floating, or it gets very light like a feather. Both of these are completely normal. What some other people experience is a little odd. It can be excess salivation in your mouth, so you have to swallow a bit extra, or your eyelids can flutter. If any of these things happen. That's normal. Just a little funny thing that happens when you get really relaxed. And as we go through, a lot of what we're going to do, it's all visualization, right? So if as we're going through, let's say I guide you to visualize the mountains and you're like, no, actually, I'm more of a beach girl. I want to visualize myself at a cool, calming beach day. You are more than welcome to do that. I highly encourage you to. I remember when we did this series last year, it was so cool afterwards to hear all the ways people took the meditation and made it their own. So please feel free to. You're in complete control of the whole session. It's whatever you want to do in your own imagination. And finally, if you need to scratch your nose, if you need to shift, if you need to move around and wiggle during the session, you are more than welcome to. It's all about you getting as comfortable as possible. So if you need to, squirm around a bit to make that happen, please feel free. Before we get started, does anyone have any questions about what you can expect? Anything like that? Okay, great. We'll go ahead and start getting comfortable. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and close your eyes and we'll begin. Alrighty. So to start, go ahead and close your eyes as you nestle into a comfortable, supported position. We're about to embark on a co-creative journey using your creative imagination. All you have to do is listen to the sound of my voice and follow the images in your mind's eye. So to start, let's just take a few deep, restoring breaths. Begin by inhaling for 4 counts. Good, and exhale for 6. Good, and again, inhale for 4. And exhale for 6, pushing all the air out on your exhale. Good. Another one. Inhale for 4. And exhale for 6. Good. And one last time. Inhale for 4. And exhale for 6. Good. Good. And you can continue breathing in this pattern if you'd like, or you can allow your breathing to return to a normal rhythm, whatever is more comfortable for you. And to relax your body, we're just going to do a brief body scan to release any tension in your muscles. And as we do this, maybe you imagine yourself in a calming, comfortable place in nature. Maybe you think about your favorite beach vacation. Maybe your mind goes to the most relaxing trip you've taken to the mountains or the woods. When you imagine this place, what kind of colors and sights are around you? What do you hear in the distance? Maybe the singing of birds, perhaps the soft sound of water. As you take a deep inhale, what do you smell? What sort of fragrance does the fresh, clean air have? As you continue breathing, you just build out the calming image of this place. The more you tune into it, the more relaxed you feel. And in this peaceful place, I want you to find a soft, comfortable place to sit. Maybe a large, soft recliner. As you relax into this seat, you feel as though it almost form-fits to your body. You feel like you can simply melt into the chair beneath you. And in the next few moments, you allow your body to relax more and more deeply as we go through and scan from head to toe, releasing anywhere you may be holding tension. So we start at the crown of your head. You just relax any of the muscles in your head, whether it's your eyebrows, your eyes, any of the small muscles in your face. In the sense of relaxation, moves down your neck. Maybe you feel it as warmth from the sun at this peaceful place in nature, just relaxing your throat and your jaw. The sense of peacefulness just moves down your shoulders as you relax your upper arms. Release any tension from your elbows and your forearm. And this moves down and down to your wrists, all the way to your fingertips. You feel this sense of calm just move down your chest and your abdomen. Relax any of your stomach muscles, any of your back muscles. Good. This just moves down to your hips. As you relax your thighs, relax your knees, your calves, your feet. Maybe it even feels like any remaining tension in your body just flows out from the bottoms of your feet. Good, good. And with your body more relaxed than when we started, you return your attention to this peaceful place in nature. You notice that the sun has just began to set. It's created a beautiful pink and orange horizon in front of you. And in a few moments, I'm just going to count from 5 to 1. The count of 1, you'll feel completely relaxed, completely in tune with yourself. So 5, just noticing the brilliant colors in the horizon beneath you. 4, feeling more and more relaxed. 3, feeling so good, so at peace. 2, going deeper and deeper. And 1, sun sinking below the horizon, feeling so good and so relaxed. Good, good. With your body and mind more relaxed than when we began, we're now going to start traveling up through your energetic body and tapping into each chakra or energy center throughout your body. So we'll start at the root. I'd like you to visualize a warm red ball of light a few inches below your tailbone. This light reminds you of a comforting fire. It makes you feel warm, safe, and secure. This represents your root chakra. As you focus on this warm red ball of light, you feel a sense of safety grow within you. You realize you are safe in your body, completely secure and present here in this moment today. Maybe you even say to yourself, I am safe, as you focus on this calming red ball of light at your root. Take a few moments watching the red orb glow with each calming breath. Good, good. You now move up to your lower abdomen, focusing your energy and awareness on your lower belly. Here you begin to see a soft orange ball of light glowing. This orange light represents your sacral chakra. As you focus on it, you feel at peace with your emotional world. You feel safe expressing your emotions and sharing how you feel with others. As you tune into this orange orb right in your lower stomach, you say to yourself with complete acceptance, I am an emotional being. You take a moment to connect with this space. Notice if there's anything you need to feel more emotionally supported or balanced. Take some time to be present with this space now. Good, good. You now move up to your solar plexus space. You see a yellow, glowing ball of light emerge from the space right at the bottom of your rib cage. Its radiance reminds you of a bright, sunny day and the brightness of your own personality, of your own soul. As you see it glow further and further outwards, it reminds you that your own personality radiates into the lives of all those around you, that you are a gift shining brightly in their world. You say to yourself, I shine brightly to all those around me, and you watch the sunny yellow orb glow with each calming breath. Good. You now move up to your heart chakra as a green, glowing ball of light expands in the middle of your chest cavity, right beneath your sternum. You feel an overwhelming sense of love pour out from this space and flow throughout your body, mind, and spirit. You feel how everything, every bit of you, is all an expression of love, compassion, and care. And you see how that's returned to you through the people in your life and the relationships you have. In the center of this glowing green heart space, you feel the words, I am love, in all their truth. With each breath, this green heart space grows, and you feel more and more in tune with self-compassion, love for others, and love for yourself. Good. Next, you focus your awareness on the middle of your throat, and you see a light blue glowing ball begin to radiate out from here. As it grows in a soft sky blue color, you feel completely free to express your own truth in this life. You realize that you are the only one in this world with your level of creativity, self-expression, your beliefs, and it's your duty to hold true to them with yourself and with others. As you focus on this space, you say to yourself, I speak and live my truth. You notice if there's anything you need to feel more aligned with your own truth in life. You just watch as this light blue orb glows with each breath. Good. You now move up to the space between your eyebrows, and you see a deep indigo blue ball of light expanding. You realize this represents your third eye chakra, and as it expands, you feel your sense of intuition, self-trust, and imagination growing. You realize that you are an intuitive person, and you feel safe trusting yourself, your dreams, and your intuition. Connecting with this space reminds you that it's safe to trust yourself and your intuition. Maybe you say, I trust myself. Maybe you ask this part of you what you need to trust others, yourself, or the divine more fully in this life. Take some time to do this now. Good. And lastly, you move up to the crown of your head. At the top of your head, you see an ultraviolet ball of light. Perhaps this one is truly shaped like a crown. As it glows a vibrant purple, you feel a sense of connection to something greater than yourself. Maybe it's the love of everyone in your life. Maybe it's your individual spiritual beliefs. Whatever it is for you, you feel a sense of oneness with the world around you. It brings you a sense of joy that will last far beyond these moments here today. As you connect with this space, you say to yourself, I am one with all. You feel the truth that you are connected to all things, all life, all people, and goodness on this earth. You now see your entire body as a rainbow spectrum of these glowing orbs of light. You feel your energy in tune and balanced across all aspects of your inner world. And you realize too that this sense of peacefulness and balance will stay with you each day going forward, deepening your inner calm more and more as each day passes. You take a few moments here, enjoying this sense of calm, visualizing your bright, vibrant chakra system. Good, good. And in the future, you can always return to this visualization in your own mind, connect with your chakras, and tap into a sense of peaceful, restored energy. Anytime you think of your chakras and these glowing, colorful orbs, you'll feel a sense of calm return to you. Good. And now, if you're ready to return to the waking state, you can join me as I count from 1 to 5, and you become more and more alert and awake, ready to return to your day. So 1, 2, just starting to tap back into your body. 3, wiggling your fingers and your toes. 4, maybe swaying a bit side to side. And 5, opening your eyes, feeling alert, awake, and ready to take on the day. This has been wonderful. Just to quickly sum up today, you're leaving today with a quick, complicated history of the chakras, so you can flex some of your new spiritual knowledge on people if you want, an understanding of the 7 chakra system and ways you can use it in your own meditation and healing practices, and this experience today, visualizing and connecting with your own chakras. And this is really something, if you ever, want to do your own practices, that you can model yours off of, and also play with it and make it your own, right? And experiment to find what really resonates with you. And yeah, so thank you guys. My email is here. If you have any questions, if there's anything you want to share with me, if you're ever interested in, any kind of one-on-one work, or you just want to say hi, please feel free to send me an email. I'll send it in the chat as well, so you guys have that. But really, my main piece here is just thank you for being here today. I absolutely love doing these sessions with you, and thank you guys. I'm really excited.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And Emma, do you just want to let people know what to expect for next week, just since this is part of a series?
Yes. So next week, we're actually talking about past life regression and past lives. So it's a very fun topic. Now, what I do want to emphasize is there's a ton of different theories about how past life regression works. So you don't necessarily have to believe in past lives to gain a lot from next week's session. I highly encourage you to come. It'll be really informative. We're going to end with a hypnotic meditation like this as well. So I would love to see you there. It's going to be Past Lives 101. And yeah, would love to see you guys again.
Thank you, Emma.
Thank you so much, Emma.
Thank you so much.
You do such a great job. I love, the combination of the educational and the experiential, and you bring such passion and knowledge. And Emma said that for each of these sessions, she puts like 7+ hours of research and work into it. And I think you can really tell. So we are so appreciative. So I hope to see all of you next week, and please spread the word to folks who weren't able to join so more people can take advantage. And for anyone who ultimately is watching recorded, we are so appreciative. So have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Stay tuned to your chakras, and thank you for everything, Emma.
Thank you, Emma.
Bye.
Yes, it was great.
Bye-bye.
Bye.